My people, good evening, Swazis. Hope you are all doing so well in the new year 2022. Yeah, mine is just to come out to encourage parents, in the midst of the current and prevailing political cataclysm. Why should I come out? Why should I advise parents? If you notice very well, the education sector is the one that is taking much of the hit. You see, our kids are in trouble. The education of this country is in the verge of a collapse. So, as an educator myself, mine is just to tip off, parents. Because as a citizen, I'm really, really concerned about the future of our kids. If you notice very well, this 2022, the grade ones, those who have to assume school for the first time, they are going to start around April, because you will recall that we didn't finish the syllabus for the last academic year, which is supposed to have been finished by now. It's supposed to have been concluded by now, but unfortunately we still need 3 more months. Even those 3 months, one wonders and asks themselves what's really going to be happening, because there is nothing really. These kids have learned nothing. I think for the next 3 months, it's going to be revision. That is January, February, March, until the end of March. I think these 3 months are going to span revision and the writing of exams. So that is not enough on its own. If you look carefully, our kids are not ready for exams, but it is what it is. The political situation in the country is really, really a cause for concern. It's not only the political situation, also the issue of COVID-19, of course, but I think our biggest problem now that is making things even worse is the political unrest. And this is the leadership crisis. I don't know what's happening with the leadership. In the country, this is national leadership crisis, and it's cause for concern. But anyway, mine is just to tip off parents that they should step in, during these times. I highlighted on the issue of the grade ones, those who are going to assume school for the very first time. So if they are going to start around April, I think April 4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, specifically April 4. So you wonder what's going to be happening for all these 3 months, January, February, March, to those kids, you see. Unless you are indeed privileged to afford fees from private schools, then we are happy for you as a Swazi parent. We encourage that you please do enroll your child in these private schools if you can afford to do so. But most of the Swazis, we enroll our kids in these public schools for the reason that, one, you have to be very, very mathematical. You see, private schools they are really good, but they can really charge exorbitant fees, So it's not every parent who can really afford, depending on their financial situation and depending on how their life is unfolding on that particular time. Personally, myself, I'm not able to enroll my kids in private schools, for the mere reason that I'm still trying to build them a very, very nice home. So it would kind of sabotage that project, which is really, really crucial for them again, because as kids, they deserve all these basic rights. That is the right to education, and as well as the right to shelter, and of course the other rights, clothing and stuff. So if I were to send them to a private school right now, I think I would compromise the other rights, which is not what I want. I still have to provide them with food, shelter, and everything, as you are aware of the basic rights. So parents, I'm saying, please, if you are able, if you are enlightened, those parents who are educated, I think most of the parents, perhaps not all, but some parents, really quite a sizable number, they are educated themselves. So parents, I'm saying to you, please step in. Please step in. These are our children. Please try and supplement. Try and fill this gap. the grade ones, 2022 grade ones, they are going to assume around April 4. So during all these 3 months, please try and teach your kid. Try and teach your kid. I charge you parents, please, this is the time to step in. Don't just fold your arms and say, they are going to start around April. So yeah, they are going to be playing in the first 3 months. You allow your kid to play all day, day in, day out. They are playing out there. Yet you are an enlightened parent. I mean, you can get leave. You can read. Most parents can read Siswati. They can equally teach, Siswati. Teach the kid how to go through the R, A, E, O, U. Teach them the La, Le, Li, Lo, Lu, all that kind of stuff. Try and cover that while they are still languishing at home, you see, for the first 3 months. So it is time to step up, even all the classes actually, because if you look at it carefully, the political unrest, I'm not convinced. I don't think it's over. This thing is not going to stop, really. I think if you follow the politics carefully, you know that there is still a dark cloud hovering, over the nation. So schools are still going to be disturbed. So it is private schools so far that are managing the situation, I would say, fairly satisfactory, because they are able to use applications like Zoom. They are able to use, the internet to continue push the syllabus. But our public schools, they are not equipped. You see, our schools are not, they don't have that kind of equipment and tools to conduct online lessons. So that is why I'm charging parents. Parents, there's something you can do. Even if it's not all of you, but those parents who can really equip their kids, those parents who can step in during these trying times politically, they should do so. Please come to the rescue of your kids academically. Please assist them. And if you are opportunity to have Wi-Fi, then I think we have everything, because today we use information systems, to source information. It's a digital world, isn't it? So you don't have to be a specialist. Let me assume your child is doing Form 2 or Form 3 or Form 5. You see, just high school. It could be the junior secondary or senior secondary. Obviously, you may not be able to handle all the subjects or the courses, but if you have internet at your house, in your residence, if you are opportunity to have internet, even if you don't have, but you have the capacity, you have the potential, financial potential of installing internet, please do so for the sake of the kid. Do get that smartphone, which the kid can use to source information from internet, and go get those tools. You can use any internet service provider. I think preferably most sources there. You are using Swazi Mobile, isn't it? I think Swazi Mobile is one affordable, ISP, but another alternative is SPTC. I think SPTC also is fairly affordable. I won't say anything about Swazi MTN. So please, let's try and assist our children. So get that internet. And then I was saying, even if you are non-specialist, even if you are not comfortable with other courses, say mathematics or any other thing, you are not a specialist, you can still get, video tutorials from YouTube. Allow your kid to watch a video tutorial on simultaneous equations, mathematics, for example. If they are doing high school, say Form 4, you don't have a good command of mathematics yourself, you don't have a good command of chemistry, physics, anything, but there are ready-made inbuilt video tutorials from YouTube. You see, they are accessible. All you need is the tools, the digital tools, like you install that hotspot and then make sure you have the internet device, which is the smartphone or a laptop or a desktop, but make sure it is able to connect into internet, and then give your child some opportunity to go through these lessons. Let them watch YouTube, lessons from YouTube, and have their exercise book alongside. They should be taking notes, they should be solving some problems, they should be listening to the digital teachers there teaching. These lessons, they are there. Believe you me, you just type a phrase there and search, and you'll find everything, except perhaps for Siswati. But all the other subjects which are usually conducted, the topics which are conducted in English, they should be available there readily available for your kid to access. So that is what I'm saying. As for primary school, I think primary school, especially lower primary, like I was talking about the grade ones who are going to assume around April, you can teach your children, get the books, try and get the books, and then take your kid through, you see, because even the preschools that we have these days, usually they don't treat the Swati very well, you see. You find that they delve into the English mostly, so you have to take your child through Lifa or any Siswati book, grade 1 Siswati book. So make sure, just keep them busy during these 3 months. But I was also saying, even the ones who are going to be attending, you find that the political unrest, if it manifests again, then they are going to be stopped from attending, obviously. So continue to engage them. Don't just say, okay, schools have stopped, schools have closed, so there's nothing we can do. Yet you are an educated parent yourself. Even if you are not an enlightened parent, but if you have the finances, do hire a private tutor for your kid so that the child is tutored, because otherwise I'm concerned. I'm really worried. I hope, as you are as well, I think you are equally worried. We're breathing a very illiterate nation, a very illiterate generation, and that's going to cause problems for us. Really, our education is threatened. So as parents, let's step up. Really, let's jump into the mix and assist our children. Yeah, that is that kind of advice I wanted to share with parents. Otherwise, the politics, I won't delve much into it. It's just a painful, gloomy situation. I don't see these things stopping until Swazis get what they want. But it's an administrative anomaly. I think administration can be very, very difficult, especially if somebody tends to be narcissistic. Yeah, it's people who think of themselves, people who tend to be selfish, because that is where our problem is. I think the kind of administrators we have, they are too selfish. If all is well with them, they don't care about everybody else. So hence the country is undergoing such a political, a quagmire. So no, that is that. Thank you, friends, for watching. Those who are watching and those who are going to watch the recording. I think parents are going to benefit from this. So yeah, that's my advice. Really, I know we are not used into tutoring our children, but it's time for me. I'm going to be doing it. My boys, I almost forgot. If you have internet and all the tools, as I have enumerated them, a few minutes ago, there's what we call Google Play Store. Google Play Store, those who have smartphones. So all the programs are downloadable and accessible at Google Play Store. So get your smartphone, go to Play Store. Just log into Play Store, and then you are going to type whatever topic which you want your kid to go through. And then there's applications. There are some learning applications there, interactive and audible. You see, they are very interactive. Some of them, they come in the form of games, especially for lower primary, or let me say just primary school, entire primary school. You find they are doing mathematics. It's a game, but the game is based on, say, the two concepts of addition and subtraction. So they are playing at the same time they are learning. So these applications, don't just go for YouTube or Google. For the young ones, please go and download an application, install it in your smartphone. You see, go to Google Play Store and then type anything there. If it's related to mathematics, type anything that make sure you have the keywords there, and then download it. Even if it's an English lesson, verbs, anything, just type a phrase and then download the application. Let the kid learn through the application, and once you download it, you find that the kid is able to operate it even if there is no internet. You only need internet when you are downloading. And then when the kid is interacting with the application, they don't necessarily need internet. Most of the applications, they are offline applications, but of course if you download them, downloading and installing, you'll have to have connection while you download and install. Yeah, and then if you want to have, because you can have Play Store as well in a desktop or in a laptop, but you'll have to download a program called BlueStacks. There's a program called BlueStacks, so it comes with the Play Store. Then the computer, the laptop or the desktop will act like a smartphone in the sense that it will have Google Play. You can download, and even WhatsApp. I'm just so that we're on the same page, because we know if you download WhatsApp, you use Play Store. So I'm saying download a program called BlueStacks into a laptop or into your desktop. If you want your kids to have a bigger platform, it could be a number of your kids, you want them to interact with the application using a bigger platform rather than a small smartphone, you see. So you can have it on desktop, you can have it on a laptop, but download a program called BlueStacks first, and then it comes with Play Store, and then use that very Play Store to get all the programs, from internet, the applications, you see. It's even more exciting on a laptop or a desktop, because this thing, parents, it comes like sometimes, mostly it comes in the form of games, but as they are gaming, they are tackling the concepts there. It comes in the form of a quiz, but it's sometimes it has a digital teacher. There's a digital voice guiding them. You see, for instance, my kids, they are learning French. I don't know French. I've never interacted with French before, but they are learning French using BlueStacks. There are digital teachers there who teach them, and I equally learn. I can count in French now from 0 to 20. 0 is actually zero, 1 is un, 2 is deux, 3 is trois, 4 is quatre, 5 is cinq, 6 is 7 is sept, 8 is huit, 9 is neuf, 10 is dix. I can go all the way to 20. Yeah. So I'm teaching my kids even French. I don't know French, but with internet, I know everything. I'm a specialist in everything with internet. So that is what I'm tipping parents, on. If you have these internet tools, please make use of them. Let's teach our kids, please. Those who are able to enroll them in private schools, please do so. At least private schools are trying, and they have the tools there. Banabo Zoom. But for me, I'm not able to enroll them in private school. But at the same time, I'm not grieved about that, because I'm an educator. I will just have the boys, all the way. I'll be able to really offer them whatever they should be getting from private schools, even at a bigger proportion. Okay, thank you so much, parents. Good night. Sleep tight.